You are rich. Very, very
Rich.
Don't do that.
Better throw the money to me. Bank details in the description below the video.
Money in the minds of people for many centuries has been overgrown with all sorts of tall tales and myths. Some people idolized money, while others hated it. Gradually, myths were born out of fears, by the method of transmitting these fears from generation to generation. There are myths today, and there will be myths tomorrow. The reason for this is a simple reluctance to think. Most people want someone else to think for them and make a decision. The danger of myths lies precisely in this, that myths do not give freedom of thought. Such a vicious circle. First, the unwillingness to think creates a myth, and then the myth does not allow you to think. Successful people differ from unsuccessful people precisely in that they were able to protect themselves from the influence of myths. Some believe that with the help of money and wealth, you can solve any problems or issues. This is a myth and it does not correspond to reality. But there are people who worship money and gold, deifying them. Of course, money is important, but it does not solve all the problems. For example, money cannot buy health or get a sincere relationship. Money as a tool can help create a suitable ground for this, but it does not guarantee that it will be obtained. The next myth is that big money is big trouble. Many argue as follows. You need to live in such a way that you once again do not stick out, do not accidentally fall into the line of fire of success. Wealth is like a big house. It needs to be monitored all the time and something needs to be corrected. At any time, something can go wrong somewhere, such as lighting or sewerage, the roof may start to leak, or the plaster may fall off. Living in a hut is much easier. Go get some food, come back, eat, and sleep until you're hungry. No light, no plaster, no plumbing, and if the roof is leaking, it will dry out all by itself. If this is translated into the modern world and relationships, then money cannot just be stored in the nightstand. With some success, you can store gold, but you need to remember that nothing is permanent. Today, gold is a certain guarantee of stability, tomorrow they will find a way to synthesize it cheaply, and there is no guarantee. But it would certainly be a major event and not the fact that it would be allowed to be implemented. But as for paper or metal money, they gradually devalue and therefore must always work and make a profit. This is how the world of money works. If wealth in the form of money lies idle, it melts. From the above description, it becomes clear that a rich person has many problems. You need to keep track of trends and keep and increase your capital all the time. But these are monetary problems. If the rich person makes a mistake, he will lose some of his funds. On the other hand, the poor have much more problems than the rich, and the poor's mistake can lead to a fatal outcome. Often, the poor try to buy cheap food, clothing, and medicines. All this can lead to a sharp reduction in life expectancy. Now the question arises, which is easier, to take care of your wealth or shorten your life with low-quality food, clothing, and medicines? The answer seems obvious. Well, if you look at the root of the problem with wealth, then with skillful management, money and wealth only help to solve the problems that arise and achieve the goals set. But a person who does not know how to handle money, in fact, and wealth, then there is no place to come from. The only option is an inheritance or a lottery. Usually such people have problems with wealth quickly disappear, in fact, as well as the wealth itself. Another myth. People who believe in this myth believe that they must be lucky to get rich. As they say in the famous saying, "I was in the right place at the right time." According to such people, wealth is obtained by those who are lucky in this life. For example, as written above, wealth is inherited or won in the lottery. For such people, the reason for wealth is fate, luck, anything, but not the personal qualities of a person. If you read the stories of millionaires, then among them there are those who started their journey on general terms or even worse. Thanks to perseverance and determination, these people have achieved their wealth. Of course, there will always be someone who will say something like that fools are lucky. But most likely it is not the fools who are lucky, but those who work in this direction. Why did Mendeleev dream of his table? Certainly not because he's a fool. Of course, there is some luck in getting rich, but the main part is the personal qualities of a person. Again, we should not talk here about talents that are obtained from birth. The main idea is that you need to set goals and go to them. Somewhere you will be more lucky, somewhere less, but if you do nothing, you will definitely never be lucky. Would Mendeleev have dreamed of his periodic table if he didn't work in this direction? Even if a miracle had happened and a completely distant person had dreamed of this table, which is hardly possible in practice, he would not have accepted this delusional dream for him. So it is with wealth. Lucky for those who work in this direction. Fairy tales are partly to blame for our attitude to money as an accidental phenomenon. In many fairy tales, the main character does nothing all his adult life and, in the end, he gets the princess and half the kingdom. So most people sit in dreams and expect that they will suddenly wake up rich. So you can live your whole life and not wake up rich. This is the difference between the rich people of the world and the poor. The poor are waiting for a miracle in the person of a good king who will come and solve everyone's problems, and the rich are trying to solve their own problems and improve the quality of life. And if such a king appears, then let him come. He will solve the problems of everyone, and the main goal of the rich is to get a quality life. But while there is no such king, you need to take care of yourself, and then you cannot wait for the king. Adherents of this myth believe that working hard, sooner or later you will become rich. The myth is certainly wrong. Most of the poor work from dawn to dusk and earn nothing. It is necessary to think correctly, then wealth will come. Those who work hard can repeat the fate of Sisyphus, who did not suffer for his work according to the legends. But the bottom line is that Sisyphus rolls a rock up the mountain, which eventually falls off the mountain near the goal. Just like people who work hard, they run the risk that their work will most likely bring them nothing, and in the end this work will simply crush them. From this we can conclude that the amount of wealth earned does not depend on the degree of stress and wear and tear of the body. In order to become rich, you need a plan. When there is a plan, you can follow it and step by step get closer to the goal. The main thing is to develop a strong faith and desire to go to your goals. The best option is to imagine yourself rich without fuss, to believe that it is possible. After that, find a good and promising job or become an entrepreneur and confidently go to the goals.